Howdy. I sure hope you're having a great start to your morning. I'll be right back with your inspiring quote of the day. But for now, here's Kane with Any More right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
You got a voice in your head, the same old guilt and regret. You heard 1,000 times before.
Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot, and to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. Today's comes to you from Daniel Webster, who said, "How little do they see what really is, who frame their hasty judgment upon that which seems." Ooh, this one hits hard because so many times we can look at a situation and think we know what's going on. We think we know the backstory because it's evident, right? Hold on a second. You ever heard the old phrase, don't judge a book by its cover? Yeah, it applies here. You don't know the whole story. You don't know the reason why the person's acting that way. They may have been totally rude to you. And while that shouldn't excuse their behavior, they may really have something terrible going on behind the scenes. And they just reacted in a way that situation constituted. It's weird, I know, but we all do it, don't we? I mean, if you have kids, you feel so bad when you do this, but say you're having a really bad day. Your kid is being extra annoying and you just snap at them. Oh, it feels so bad. It feels so bad. You instantly want to ask them for forgiveness. And the longer you think about it, the more it just eats away at your soul. It's like, I shouldn't have reacted that way. So, moral of this story is, you can't base everything you think you know on what you think you know, because what you think you know is probably not what's actually happening. So dig in a little bit. God can show you some of those underlying factors. He can show you some of those roots that go deep that cause that person to act the way that they're acting. And if he reveals them to you, you might actually be able to help them solve their problem. You might be able to help them understand it more fully, or even encourage them that they can get through this. But you can be there for them. And I know that's the last thing you want to do, because if somebody's really ugly to you, the last thing you want to do is be nice to them. But we're called to be different, aren't we? So I don't know. I think I do know. You're thinking about that coworker right now. That one you can't stand. That one that always acts like the boss and they're really not the boss. Yeah, why don't you try this with them? Why don't you get to know them a little bit better? Why don't you ask God to help you, help them, and pray for them? Ooh, that flips things on its head, doesn't it? Yeah. You know what? This life is all about relationship and connection, and the deeper we connect, the more impact we can have on this world and make it a much better place. So hey, let's be there for each other today, okay? Hey, I'll take the challenge with you. I'd love to hear from you. Why don't you text me? 256-967-0885. Let me know your name, where you're listening from, and your favorite song. Again, 256-967-0885.
There's no greater love than yours.
That rain-cooled weather out there, keeping it cool. We're talking about upper 50s to, even some low, a big round number here. Huntsville's kissing that 60-degree mark. Where's it at? Oh, yes, there it is. 61 in Coleman, 62 right now in Bluentsville and Gunnersville and Scottsboro. And your word of life today, it's a good one. Comes to you from Colossians chapter 3, verse 2 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. Wow. What do you think about that? Yeah, get a little excited, right? Why don't you share that word of life with somebody? We've got it ready for you all across our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, or Twitter, and TikTok, and it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Hey, our website's a place to go to listen to us whenever you're away from your radio or outside of our listening area. It's real easy. Just click that On Now button, press play, and you are good to go. And in fact, lots of times I can just pull up a streaming map and take a look and see where my pins are so I can see where people are listening from. And I'm telling you, it's always a blast for me because it helps me to know that, hey, somebody's listening. And I know you are, especially on the FM dial, though I can't see a pin on the map where you are. But that's the reason why I have ways for you to contact me. So if you're listening this morning, I would love if you would text me. It's 256-967-0885. Let me know your name, where you're listening from, and your favorite song so I can shout you out and play your request right here on the show. Again, it's 256-967-0885. Good morning, Helsinki, Finland. I see you listening this morning. Here's John Reddick with Don't Fight Alone.
The angel armies I have yet to see.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. So I did. I tried again, and guess what? It worked this time. I'll tell you the whole story. Oh, the smelly, nasty story. Oh, next.
While I was sleeping, Lord, you were working on the mess I made like only I can do.
Tools? Check. Replacement parts? Check. Gloves? Check. Why? Because it was a rather stinky, messy situation. Yeah. So the other day, I noticed a sound. And I looked, and sure enough, there was water in the floor. It's like, what is going on? My toilet was leaking. That's right. On the outside, the toilet bowl water. Yeah, the nasty stuff. I figured out what was going on, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to change the wax ring underneath my toilet. And I got everything together. I went ahead and got the wax ring. It comes with the little, bolts and nuts and all the stuff we need to put on there. And so I went ahead and I changed my clothes. I got in there and I fixed it. At least I thought I fixed it the first time that I did it, because I set it down on the wax ring just like it said to do, and I tightened it down, and later on that night, after I turned the water back on to my toilet, there was more water in the floor. I'm like, oh no. So yesterday, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it one more try, because I can't just give up on this. If I call a plumber, it's probably going to cost me $100. These wax rings are like $6. So I go to Walmart, and I get extra stuff. I get a wax ring. I get a non-wax rubber fitting ring as well, just in case, right? I'm thinking maybe this will be better. I go ahead and get the tiny hacksaw so I can, hack the top of the bolt off so I can put a cap on it, and it'll look actually halfway decent in my bathroom, So I get all the stuff, I get up to the register, and after I ring it all up, it's like, really? $35? Now I'm like $45 into this thing, and I'm like, oh, this better work, right? So I get back to the house, I get changed, and I do it all again. And this time I got a scraper so I could get all the extra wax off the bottom of the toilet and off the flange and the floor. And of course I'm wearing my gloves the whole time. I'm kind of a germaphobe. So I clean it all up, I set it down, I tighten it down, and then I clean the floor, and then I turn on the water and I wait, and I'm like, okay, is it gonna leak? I give it some time. No leaks. And then later on that night, my little girl's like, Dad, can I use your bathroom? I said, yes, you can. And so she did. And then I asked her, I said, look down there and see if there's any water beside the toilet. And sure enough, there was none. So it worked. Yay! I feel so accomplished. I was able to change it myself. But not the first time. It took 2 times. So moral of this story, just try again. Don't give up. You're eventually going to get it. But it was a stinky job. And yeah, I had to get a somewhat shower afterwards because you just can't keep that water off of you. You know what I mean? It gets in the floor. I had gloves on, but still. I had to be down on the floor on my knees and all this stuff. And it was just not a fun job. But it's done now, and I'm so happy. So there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Here's Cochran and Company with Parking Lot right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. And right now we got listeners in Helsinki, Finland, also Birmingham, Alabama, and we got some listeners right here in Gunnersville. And hey, that's just the people I can see on my stream. For those listening on the FM dial, I can't see where you're listening from, but I would love to hear from you. The number's 256-967-0885. Text me your name, where you're listening from, and your favorite song. Maybe I can play your request right here on the radio. Let me know. 256-967-0885. Waiting to hear from you right now. And getting ready for a car line competition. Plus, I got a little story about an 8-year-old coming up that I think you're really going to love right before that car line competition. So stick around, and we'll have some fun this morning. Here's Katie Nicole with Naomi Rain. And My God Can. How can the water cycle help you think about God? How can the water cycle help you understand the Trinity? Ooh, that's a really good question. Well, hear what an 8-year-old came up with to explain it next. You're going to love this. It blew my mind. Oh, it's so good. Stick around. Here's CeCe Winans. I've got joy.
I've got joy in the struggle. I've got peace in the storm.
My beautiful, minded, intelligent 8-year-old came up with this analogy. And my mind is a little bit blown. And I don't think people actually believe she came up with it when I posted it on my Facebook. But we were pulling weeds and she said, "Mommy, God is like the water cycle." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She said, "God's like the ocean. He's big and powerful, and just like the ocean knocks over boats, he can knock down Satan and sin. And Jesus is like evaporation because he ascended back up to heaven. And then he sent the rain down, and the rain is like the Holy Spirit coming back down to the earth." You can't walk into a room always expecting to be the smartest, because an 8-year-old will show up and humble you, because God can use 8-year-olds to speak to us.
Out of the mouths of babes, Elizabeth Starkey, thank you so much for sharing that on your socials. Hey, if you want to find her, she offers biblical help for emotional health, and she's going by the handle Starkey Coaching over on TikTok. That's where I found her. So go check her out sometime. What a beautiful story. I love it. All right, Bradley Williams reached out today, and he said, "I wanted to tell you thank you for keeping me, Sandra, and Isaac entertained as we went to the beach last week. Hey, could you play a song for me?" Here it is.
You must think I'm strong to give me what I'm going through.
Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn. All right, now let's crank that engine and let's start that music so I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the Carline Competition. Your chance to win some gift cards this morning. It's a trivia game. We have a lot of fun with this. So I ask a question, give you the cue to call. When you call me up, you can win 3 gift cards. 1 to keep, 2 to give away. That way we make your day better and we help you make 2 other people's days better too, so you can put smiles on their faces. I got them to Gunnersville Chick-fil-A, Albertville Home Bakery, and the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. Are you ready to play my game? Sure hope so. Here we go. Which of these is not a penguin? Is it a black eye, a king, a chin strap, or an Adelie? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Again, which of these is not a type of penguin? Is it a black eye, a king, a chin strap, or an Adelie? 256-505-0885. Waiting on your call right now. I like penguins a lot. And one of these, you'd think it was a name, but it's not. It's so weird. So anyway, all right, we're going to try it. Got my caller. Hey, Bud Williams. All right, so here is your question. Which of these is not a type of penguin? Is it a black eye, a king, a chin strap, or an Adelie?
Black eye?
That's exactly right. Yes, sir. I thought for sure that'd be a type of penguin because, you know, sometimes they got black around their eye, but no, that's correct. That's not such a thing. So congratulations, bud. You just won 3 gift cards.
I'm going to start that train rolling again.
All right, man. I can hear it in the background. Well, thanks so much for calling. And that is how it's done. Lots of times Bud just calls in to get that train rolling. So now, instead of 3, we got 6 gift cards up for grabs. If you know the answer to my question, what measurement of land is equivalent to 4,840 square yards? Is it an acre, a chain, a square mile, or a hectare? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, what measurement of land is equivalent to 4,840 square yards? Is it an acre, a chain, a square mile, or a hectare? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Waiting on your call right now. Again, 256-505-0885. Now how about some elevation worship with praise?
I praise in the valley and praise
Well, you know what? No calls on that last question, so you know what I do, right? I cut 2 of the options off and give you a 50-50 shot at winning 6 gift cards because we got a little bit of a train rolling through. Yeah, there's that super short train right now. Here's your question. This could land you 6 gift cards. What measurement of land is equivalent to 4,840 square yards? Is it an acre? I'm sorry. Is it an acre or a hectare? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, what is the equivalent to 4,840 square yards? Is it an acre or a hectare? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. I'm waiting on your call right now. You could win 6 gift cards. You just got to call me up. 256-505-0885.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say.
Holly Dean, I see what you did. You see, she texted me. She said, have a good day, sir. I just played the Good Day song. Thank you, Holly. I hope you have a great day, too. Hey, we are playing this car line competition, and I just got to answer to that last question. So let's find out what happened. It might make you just a little happy. You might have a chance of winning more gift cards. What? Hello, brave soul. What's your name? Montgomery Hodges. Ooh, yes. What is his name again in the play? Augustus Gloot. Yeah. How did everything go?
Very well.
I'm so glad. Did you eat your fill of chocolate with Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Well, I got a question for you. Now, this is about space. Not like stars in space. We're talking about like area. Ooh, that sounds like math problems to me. How about you?
Yeah.
Are you good with area and perimeter and are you good with radius and are you good with circumference and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's try this thing. Okay, what measurement of land is equivalent to 4,840 square yards? Is it an acre or a hectare?
An acre.
An acre is correct. Congratulations, 6 gift cards headed your way. What do you think about that?
I want to roll them over.
Ooh, so we're making it 9. Oh, I hear that train in the background. All right, man. Hey, anybody you want to shout out this morning?
Let's do my friend Shout.
Tell me something special about him.
Well, he just has that kind, loving personality that we really don't get anymore in the
Ooh,
world.
wow. Sounds like an amazing friend. All right. Well, thanks for shouting out that friend. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll get these gift cards rolling on, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
And the train keeps coming through. We got 9 gift cards up for grabs if you know the answer to my next question. What is it? What are we going to be talking about? Well, I mean, you know, I think this is something near and dear to everybody's heart. We all like to eat, don't we? Have you ever had a Reuben before? Yeah, it's got corned beef on it, right? Corned beef is cured in what? Is it cured in smoke, in brine, in wine, or in pickles? Ooh, 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, corned beef is cured in what? Is it smoke, brine, wine, or pickles? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Waiting to hear from you right now. Who knows? You might be taking home 9 gift cards. 256-505-0885. Oh, that corned beef with some sauerkraut and some Thousand Island dressing makes it a delicious Reuben on some rye bread. Oh, I'm getting hungry this morning, salivating at the thought of it. Woo, call me up. You could win. Well, we've been having a blast playing this car line competition. We've been rolling these gift cards over. We've got a train passing through, and I got an answer to that last question. I want to play it for you right now. So here, take a listen to this. So, do we like corned beef or not?
I'm not really sure. I've never tried it.
You've never tried it. Well, what's your name?
Crazy Hat Girl.
Of course, it's the Crazy Hat Girl. How you doing today?
Good.
I'm so glad to hear from you. So, I got a question for you about food. But first, I want to know, what is your favorite food?
Ooh, I might have to think about that.
Yeah, that's also good, right? I'm an equal opportunity eater, too. I like just about everything. How about Brussels sprouts? Do you like Brussels sprouts?
Yeah.
What?
I don't like Brussels sprouts.
You don't like Brussels sprouts? What's wrong with you, girl?
Oh,
They smell like farts, don't they?
I did.
They do, and broccoli does too whenever you cook it. Anyway, it tastes delicious to me. I had some last night. In fact, I have some with me today here at the studio for lunch. So I'll think about you when I'm eating my Brussels sprouts. Do you like pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's more your speed, right? Yeah, I got you. What's your favorite toppings on that pizza?
Pepperoni.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? We just got some pepperoni and cheese?
Yep.
All right, sounds great. Well, hey, I got a question for you that could land you 9 gift cards. Gracie May Puckett, here we go. Corned beef is cured in what? Is it smoke, brine, wine, or pickles?
Well, second answer.
The second one was brine. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you just won 9 gift cards. That's right, it is brine. Do you know what brine is?
No.
It's a very, very salty liquid. And it's got a mix of spices like bay leaf and peppercorns and mustard seed and juniper berries and coriander seed and whole cloves and this, that, and the other. Yep, like all the spices in your spice cabinet thrown in there. And it makes it good. So you're going to have to try some corned beef sometime. They have it at Arby's. It's really good. So, hey, my question for you is, are you going to, be able to put some smiles on people's faces with these 9 gift cards?
I'm going to roll them over.
Are you kidding me? We're making this 12? Oh, my.
Yeah.
We are just going to bless somebody's socks off, girl. All right, so we're going to roll them over. I hear that train in the background. You want to shout a couple people out this morning just to share some love with them on the radio?
Well, one person I want to shout out to is Montgomery Hodges.
Really? That crazy kid we just heard from on the radio?
Yes.
What do you like about that guy?
Sometimes he's crazy. I know that.
Yeah, I agree.
And he goes to my school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. All right, is there a second person you'd like to shout out?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, who is it?
My classmate Kagan.
All right. Tell me something special about that person.
I don't know. Something. Sometimes she's nice.
Okay, very good. Hey, sometimes that's all it takes. Just being nice. Because, hey, life is hard enough. Having good friends around you makes a big difference. All right, Gracie
Can I
May.
tell you something?
Sure.
Everyone does this. They Google the answer. Just say.
Oh, okay. So you're just confessing. You're like, I Googled the answer, and you know what? I think that's awesome because you should be able to use all the resources around you to get the right answer. So, yeah, I think it's awesome.
But I Googled the answer, and then it said salt. But since you didn't have salt on the answers, I just guessed the second one.
Ooh, deductive reasoning. Look at you. It's like they're teaching you something at school, girl. That's awesome. Very good. How smart you are. Thanks for calling me this morning, Gracie May. I hope you have a great day at school.
You too.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So thanks to Gracie May Puckett, a.k.a. the Crazy Hat Girl, we're going to start tomorrow morning off with 12 gift cards. That's quite the train rolling through. So tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, be here, be listening, be ready to play, okay? All right. Hey, it's been a blast playing it this morning. But tell you what, I just got a call from my wife. She said, could you play me a song to kind of, I don't know, get me in a better mood because this morning's been tough. Traffic's been awful. I'm running behind. Sure, I can do that. I have a bunch of new stuff here, and I think this one's going to do the trick. It's called It's a Good Time to Praise, and it's by Peter Burton. So see what you think about this. It's for you, Cassie. Thanks for being here, babe. And thank you to everybody for listening this morning, for being a part of the Lifeline Morning Show. You are a part of this story.
When I think about the things I have that heaven sent my way, my friends and family, this old house, and the food that's on our plate.
Your word of life today comes to you from Colossians chapter 3, verse 2, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. Wow, that'll put you in the right headspace, won't it? Just remember, it's going to be all worth it. All the stuff you're dealing with now, to get to where you're going, oh, it's going to be amazing. So let's just keep our heads up. Let's keep pushing through, and let's just remember what God's told us about what's coming. Yeah? And you know the beautiful thing about this is we ask for his will to be done on earth as it is in heaven, so we can experience a taste, a little bit of it now. So isn't that encouraging? It is to me. Wow, why don't you share that word of life with somebody? Encourage them. We've got it ready for you, this word of life, across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, or Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. You know, Margaret Simpson just reached out to me and said, hey, that's an amazing song. What's the name of that? And she was talking about Man on the Middle Cross by Rhett Walker. She said, maybe I just never really paid attention to those lyrics before. And you know, it's funny how that works. Sometimes the lyrics will just reach out and grab you, and you'll realize what it's talking about, and it just hits you, right? I love when that happens. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Margaret, for reaching out this morning. Hey, taking a look at the streaming map, I can see you listening right now in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't think I know your name yet down in Birmingham. Would you mind doing the same thing Margaret just did and text me, 256-967-0885. I'd love to know your name so I can shout you out by name. Plus, all the other listeners too, whether you're on the stream or on the radio, I want to hear from you this morning because honestly, it's just me and a microphone and a studio all by my lonesome. So I'd love to hear from you. 256-967-0885. Tell me your name, where you're listening from, and I don't know, maybe your favorite song so I can play it for you here on the show. I'd be happy to do that. Again, 256-967-0885. Now, I want you to pay attention to these lyrics. It's a new song from Andrew Ripp. It's called Roses. And oh, it hits. Oh, it hits so well. Right in the feels. Take a listen.
Ever wonder what was on the mind of the Maker when he turned all of our sorrow into fields of grace?
So full disclosure, this morning I read my Bible and I felt like I got nothing from it. No big revelation, no feeling of closeness with God. I didn't even really understand the story I was reading. And as this has happened for me from time to time, there's something I've learned about days like this. And it's that when it comes to my relationship with the Bible, it's less about me getting something out of Scripture every day and more about Scripture doing something in me over time. And so when I have those days where I can't focus and nothing makes sense, I still show up the next day, and I trust that God is doing a greater work in me over the long run.
John Jurgensen, thank you so much for sharing that, because we all need to be reminded that sometimes we don't have to get anything out of it in the moment, but it is what it's doing on the inside of us. We're following that scripture. We're being transformed by the renewing of our mind, by reading God's word. And that is so important, more than what we're able to understand in the moment. So thank you for that. Oh, I heard from Charlotte Pesnell this morning. Said, good morning, Stephen. Charlotte Pesnell here. If you haven't already, could you play Speak to the Mountains? That song always speaks to me, and I could use a little extra today. Thank you, and God bless. Charlotte Pesnell, I'm so glad that you reached out to me. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. And thanks for requesting that song. I want to play it for you right now. So here it is. Chris McClarney, Speak to the Mountains.
Why would I worry when giants come calling my name? My God is so much bigger than troubles I face.
So it's been about a year ago now. I actually got to welcome somebody into the studio, a major artist. And we don't usually get that opportunity around here. Lots of times it's on maybe Zoom or over the phone. But no, this artist was actually in town. It was right before a big concert over at the Albertville Sand Mountain and Amphitheater, right? So it was Mark Hall of Casting Crowns. And I was so glad to have him here. Now, I've met Mark before. I worked with a local author years ago, Dwayne Moore, and we did this thing. I put together some video. It's like little videos for a Bible study that he had for youth, right? Pure Praise for Youth. It's a really cool resource. But we were invited over to Mark Hall's church, And so we went there, and Mark did the forward and a little video for him. And while I was there and I had the camera, Mark's like, hey, could you shoot me a promo for an upcoming book? I'm like, sure, I can do that. And it was through Zondervan Publishing. I'm like, yes, I got to do this for Mark Hall. And he paid me in gift cards. And man, I love Carrabba's, and I got to eat plenty of it. This guy is so nice. And Mark Hall of Casting Crowns actually came into the studio last year. And you know that one video has got more views than any other video we've ever published on our YouTube channel. 11,519. A lot of people finding the station and finding that interview over on YouTube. So thankful for that. And hopefully we'll be able to have more big artists come and sit down in the studio and we'll have a little chat with them, you know? But with Mark Hall in mind and Casting Crowns, I want to mention this. Richard Udi reached out to me this morning and said, hey, could you play me a song? It's Casting Crowns and Matthew West, and the name of the song is Nobody. Well, yes, Richard Udi, I can play that for you. I'd be happy to, sir. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Here it is.
Why you ever chose me has always been a mystery. All my life I've been told I belong at the end of the line.
Do you go to the expiration date all the time? Are you sure that's the expiration date? Let's talk about it next. How well do you know your favorite grocery store? Let me tell you something. That served my family well when I was a kid because my mom knew the day that they put out that, they'd put out the clearance stickers, the, reduced price stickers on the meat. We'd go and we'd rack up on some discounted meat. I mean, it was just about to go out of date, but if you got that, you snatched it up, you took it home, you put it in the freezer, it would last however long you needed it to, right? And that's how we ate. We got some really good meat that way. So, hey, we grew up doing that, and I'm telling you, sometimes those bent and dent places, too, they got some really good food. You got to be careful, though, with some of the dried stuff like the instant potatoes and maybe some of the cereals, because if you're not careful, little weevils might get in there. So, be careful with the bent and dent places. But those are some discounted food, and I'm telling you, it fills an empty spot just like the, name brand stuff does. So, no shame there at all. But since we're talking about those discounted prices, let's talk about those expiration dates. Remember, I told you that they were getting close to expiring. That's the reason why the price was reduced so much. Oh, and by the way, our grocery store of choice was the Warehouse Discount on 157 over in Coleman. That's where we went all the time. Okay, so the expiration date. It's really easy to get confused when you're looking at these dates on the packages because different meats have different dates and they're different meanings. You might see a sell by. You might see a use or freeze by date or a packaged on date. And that one right there is confusing. If you don't read the fine print, you'll think it's expired, but no, it was just packaged on that date. So it might be really, really fresh. Another one is the expiration date. Of course, that one, you're getting close to the end of that. You need to be careful with it. There's always the smell test. If it smells bad, or if ever in doubt, throw it out. That's what the experts say. But let's go through these real quick and make sure that we understand what each one means. So the sell-by date. All right, it's an easy date for the retailer to know when the product has to be removed from their shelf and disposed of instead of being sold. So consumers have 1 to 3 days to use that meat product if it is fresh before there would be concern from a safety standpoint. So there you go. All right, typically retailers will mark down the price of a product if the sell-by date is near. All right, use or freeze by. This type of dating system is the clearest for us consumers. It's a fresh product, right? It needs to be consumed on or before the use by date on the package or frozen if additional storage time is desired. So, frozen storage times for meat can vary from 1 to 12 months depending on the species, whether it's chicken or turkey, pork, lamb, or beef from a quality aspect. Now, the packaged on date, it's often used on fresh meat, but also leaves the most room for confusion on error on behalf of the consumer. Most fresh meat can be stored at refrigerated temperatures for up to 3 days after packaging in typical meat tray overwrap style or butcher paper wrap packaging. Now, longer storage time of up to 7 days from retail purchases can be used if the product is vacuum packaged with a good seal and the air is removed from the package. So it makes a difference how it is packaged. It's something to really think about, right? The expiration date, of course, this one, very user-friendly. Simply put, it needs to be used on or before that date from a safety standpoint. All right, so I think we've covered them all. Yeah, and there's always the sniff test, and that's the one that we went by most of the time because it might have shown it out of date. It might have shown that it was out of date, but it didn't really matter because, hey, if it still smells good, it's still good. At least it was for us, and it worked. I'm still here. No, none of that stuff. What's that, salmonella? Yeah, none of that. Didn't have any problems with that growing up. So thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. And it makes a big difference, too, when those prices are marked down because these days, everything's expensive. So I'd be watching that meat counter. So how about some more great music? I got Austin French. This is fresh, okay? It's God is good. It's brand new from him. I hope you enjoy it.
Lately I've been wrestling with everything, 'cause everything seems hard.
Hey, Martin Croft, thank you for reaching out on the text. I just got it from him. He said, speaking of casting crowns, because we played them earlier, he said, I'd love to hear Voice of Truth. Praise God, he is the voice of truth. Yes, he is. I'd be happy to play that for you, Martin. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, I wonder if you would like to reach out to me. Why don't you text me? 256-967-0885. Thank you. I look forward to hearing from you.
Oh, what I would do to have the kind of faith it takes to climb out of this boat I'm in, under the crashing waves.
Quelty McKean. Well, he had something. Let me say that again because I just messed it up. Quelty. I figured I'd just call him Quell because that's not like a normal name around here. And McLean is his last name. So there, I got it out the way. It's completely butchered it, but there it is. This dude says something. He posted it up on his socials. And I want you to hear it because I got something to follow it up with. You ready? All right, here you go.
But if you do that, they will think you're weird. Who are they? My friends? They know I'm weird. My family? They knew it before my friends did. Random people I don't know or like? Okay.
I mean, really, when it comes down to it, that's how it is, right? So many times we keep ourselves from doing things because they think that we're weird if we do that thing. But let me tell you, so many times you will get called out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it happens in the broad daylight. In the middle of Walmart, you'll feel a little tug on your spirit. Hey, Stephen, go pray for that person. Hey, Stephen, go talk to that person. See what's going on in their life. Just go listen to them. Check on them. You see somebody having a bad day, you're like, okay. And then you get that little nudge. It's like, but I don't know this person. What am I supposed to do? Well, that's when you just have to trust and obey. So many times I've been there before, and I didn't trust and obey. And it was a missed opportunity, you know? And then I find out later on exactly what that person was going through whatever means necessary. It could be newspaper, could be on Facebook, any of the socials. You find out the reason why you were prompted to go and pray for them or go and try to, make their day a little bit better. And a lot of regret comes from those missed opportunities. But I have been in those instances before where I did follow that nudge. I did trust and obey. And yeah, I prayed for that person in the middle of Walmart in front of God and everybody. You know what? That's what we're called to do sometimes. And it's okay. Yes, people might think you're weird, but you know what? I'd rather be weird than not be obedient. Because God's calling me to do something. He wants to partner with me to make a difference in somebody's life. I think that's a pretty big deal. And I'm honored to be a part of that. But then I know you get into this whole thing of the doubt. It's like, is that God telling me to do it? Or is that me telling me to do it? Oh, that's one that will paralyze you all day long. You know what? Sometimes I've learned it's better just to, make an error in that department. Go ahead and pray for that person. Extra prayer never hurt anybody, right? Having a listening ear never hurt anybody. Yeah. I'll tell you, sometimes it puts you in a weird spot, but it's okay. Because you're obeying and you're doing what you know to do. And that's all you can do, right? So the whole moral of this story is go ahead, do that thing. Even though you think they're going to think you're weird because it might be just what they need in that moment. And you know what? The whole reason you're praying for that person might not even be for the biggest benefit being for that person. It could be for an onlooker, somebody who sees that you have enough faith to step up and pray for a complete stranger in the middle of Walmart. That encourages their faith. So you just never know how your act of obedience is going to touch somebody's life. Maybe somebody you didn't even think about. So remember that today. Trust and obey. He's gonna get you through. He's gonna do great things through your life if you'll just partner with him and let him do it. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Jimmy Lee Udi. He called me up actually texted me and said, hey, could you play a song for me? Yeah, I can do that. It's Jesus is Coming Back, and here it is. I absolutely love that people can listen to us from clear across the world. And believe me, they do. We've had Slovakia listening in recently. We've had Puerto Rico. We've had Canada. And right now, we've got Reno County, Kansas. I see the pin on the map out there. I also see Helsinki, Finland hanging out with us. We got River Chase, Alabama, down near Birmingham. We got a couple more people right there in Birmingham. We've got Arab, Gunnersville, Boaz, and Albertville hanging out with us on the stream. Also got Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. Good morning to you. And we got Smyrna, Tennessee on as well. And hey, no matter how you're listening, whether it's on the radio or on the stream or even on the podcast over on Spotify after the show, I just want to let you know, you're the reason why we're here. And I'd love to hear from you. My texting number is 256-967-0885. Again, 256-967-0885. Let me know your name, where you're listening from, and your favorite song. I'd love to shout you out properly by name here on the show and play your request. So let me know, okay? 256-967-0885. Thanks for hanging out with me. More great music headed your way. This, I think, is one of my daughter's favorite songs. It's all because her name is part of the title. It's Mercy Me and John Rubin with Grace. Got you. Right here on 88.5 JFM. Making your day better.
Have you ever met those who keep humming when the song's through? It's like they're living life to a whole different tune.
If you could step back in time and tell your younger self one thing, what would you say? Be thinking about that, because I want to hear it coming up here on the show. First, here's Phil Wickham with I Believe.
I believe there is one salvation, one doorway that leads to life.
Just in case you didn't know, I'm a little bit of a geek. Yeah, I love sci-fi stuff, right? I love this whole concept of being able to travel back in time, or this whole idea that there are alternate realities and there's a version of you that made a different choice living there. And things are just a tiny bit different. I don't know, there's something about that just gets me. But with all that in mind, I wonder if you could go back in time and tell your younger self one thing and one thing only, what would that one thing be? I want to hear from you. Why don't you call me? If you feel up to it and actually want to talk, I'd love to hear from you. Here's that calling number. It's 256-505-0885. Again, 256-505-0885. Let's talk about it. But if you're like, I don't want to call the radio station, okay, I got you. You can text me. Ready? 256-967-0885. That's the texting number. 256-967-0885. One thing, the one singular thing you would tell your younger self. What is it? Let me know. I'm waiting to hear from you. Hey, I got the afters with God is With Us right here, right now on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me.
Where is God in the heartache? Where is God in the fear? Where is God when it hurts so bad that you can't hold back the tears?
I've been thinking about it, and I think the thing that I would go back and tell my younger self is, Stephen, you're going to have some really tough times. But you know what? See the value in them, because they are going to make you who you are. You're going to turn out all right. Things are going to be really tough. You're going to be wondering why in the middle of every one of those tough situations. But you're going to find something good out of all of it. You're going to grow because of it. And yeah, you can even be thankful for the bad stuff in your life. Hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? We learn a whole lot from the stuff that happens. It does shape us into who we are. And to say that I'd go back and tell myself to make a different choice, I don't think I'd do that. Because honestly, I love where I'm at right now. I really do. Could things have been a little easier? Sure. But would I be the same person today? No. Perspective, right? So that's mine. That's what I would go back and tell my younger self. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I think that's it. So what would you tell your younger self? That one thing, what would it be? Call me up, 256-505-0885. Or text me, 256-967-0885. Waiting to hear from you now. And I've got a little something from a celebrity of sorts coming up about her one thing that she would tell herself. So we'll have that coming up as well, but I would much rather hear from you. All right, so call me, 256-505-0885, or text me, 256-967-0885. Now, back to the music. Stephen McCurder, Come Jesus Come, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
Sometimes I fall to my knees and pray. Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day.
Recently, Kristen Bell sat down and talked a little bit about anxiety and depression, some things that she's really dealt with over her many years. You know, she's been an actress for a while now, and your kids probably know her best as Anna from Frozen. Yeah, she provided that voice for Anna. And she had a little something to say about this, and it's just the thing that she would tell her younger self, the one thing that she would tell herself. Take a listen.
Hi, my name is Kristen. I have suffered from anxiety and or depression since I was 18, which was 20 years ago. What I would say to my younger self is, don't be fooled by this game of perfection that humans play. Because Instagram and magazines and TV shows, they strive for a certain aesthetic and everything looks so beautiful and people seem like they don't have any problems. But everyone's human. Everyone has problems. Everyone feels yucky on the inside sometimes. And you deserve to feel just as beautiful on the days you wear no makeup, and the days you don't shower, and the days you feel like you're depressed. And you have an obligation to take care of yourself from the inside out, because that's how you can truly feel beautiful. There are resources out there if you're feeling anxious, of people to talk to and doctors to interact with, and there are tons of solutions out there for you. You are not alone. Never feel embarrassed or ashamed about who you are. There are plenty of things to feel embarrassed or ashamed about. If you forget your mom's birthday, feel embarrassed about that. If you are prone to gossiping, feel ashamed about that. But never feel embarrassed or ashamed about the uniqueness that is you. Because there are people out there to help, and we're all just human, and you can do it.
So many times we look at that help, though, as like, I don't know, an opportunity for us to be labeled if we're really dealing with something and we're having a hard time handling it on our own. I know for a lot of parents, they don't want that label to be placed on their kids if their kid is really dealing with, I don't know, that loss of focus in the classroom. Maybe they're jumping from topic to topic. They can't stay still. You know, that kind of thing? Yeah. And you're afraid, well, what if the doctor says they have ADHD? Or you've got a child who continuously washes their hands, and you're like, well, what if they say he has OCD? Oh, let me tell you, I was that kid. And I was so glad that my mom went and got help, because they put me on medication that kind of balanced some chemicals in my brain and helped me tremendously. So let me just let you know, there's no shame in seeking help. There are supports out there, a support system. There are counselors. There are psychologists, psychiatrists. There are medications, and there's no shame in it at all. But you're like, well, I believe God can heal me. You know what? I do too. But sometimes I think he chooses to heal through medications and through the expertise of some of these professionals. So if you've really, I don't know, kind of discounted yourself and actually discounted getting any help, please think about it again, because it's worth it and it'll be okay. In fact, it might be just what you need to do. All right? I've lived that one. Here's Consumed by Fire and Walk with Jesus right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
So many people trying to fill a void inside. So many questions, asking how, asking why.
They say that radio is theater of the mind, so I would like to set the scene for you, okay? Imagine that you're just sitting across from a pastor in his office at his desk. You're looking at him, he's looking at you. Just that table width apart, okay? Now, here's a little something from Brian Trent.
Can I share a quote with you that I keep on my phone, that I pull up once a week to remind myself to keep this as a priority in my life? I think it'll encourage you today, but at the same time, it's very personal for me, because somebody did me this favor a long time ago that was huge in my walk with Christ. And then I found this quote many years later, and it summed up what they did, and I think it'll encourage you today, because Charles Spurgeon said this: "It will always be our wisdom, dear friends, to put ourselves as much as we can into the position of those whom we are addressing. It's a pity for anyone ever to seem to preach down to people. It is always better to be nearly as possible on the same level as they are." That's huge for me, because when I was about 18 years old, 19, I had been a believer for 2.5, 3 years, and I was not doing well. Fish out of water the whole time, struggling the whole time. And looking back on it, I was really probably at a point where I was probably really just willing to walk away from all that and give up. But during that season, I met this man. This man was an oddball. He was weird. He was strange guy I ever met in my life. But ended up, there was this mystery about him. Like there was something about him that, like, he was hiding something from me, but he wasn't trying to hide anything from me. It's like that when we talked, there was something else that he wanted to say, but he wasn't saying it all. And so there was a mystery there, and it left me feeling the urge to follow him. He didn't say follow me. I just felt the urge to follow him, because I had to unlock this mystery. There's something going on. And I felt like that I would do the world a favor by unlocking this mystery. And after a few months of getting to know him here and there, out and about and in various places, he had shared flaws that he had. He shared issues that he had in his life. He seemed to be a very open, transparent guy. It was after all that I discovered that this man was a pastor. And so I was like, as I was unlocking the mystery has just gotten deeper, because there was no pastors in my life at the time that were happy, that were able to express how they really felt, who were transparent. It was just so odd. And looking back on it, I realized that this was one of the first people that I'd ever met that truly was taking on the character of Christ. And it was odd. And I'll tell you what happened during that period. And one of the reasons why I was struggling in my walk with Christ and a fish out of water was because I had several people in my life that were preaching down at me, but he was the first person in my life that got down with me. And there's a big difference between preaching and getting down, because what we need in the church today, what we need in the world, are a lot more people to get off the pulpit and stop preaching down and start getting down. Because that's when we truly make a difference. That's when we truly are being the hands and feet of Jesus. That's when we truly are taking on the true character of Christ. And you know what? Pastor Darrell, one of my heroes, one of my major influences in my life, you know what he did for me in that time without me knowing it? Is he could have given me a steak. And what I mean by that is he could have given me deep theology. He could have given me Hebrew, Greek. He could have given me all those things. Nothing wrong with any of those things. But the thing was, I was not ready for that. I was ready for applesauce. That's all I could handle. I was just an infant. As a believer, I was just an infant. And so he's seen that. And he didn't say, I'm going to come off of my level, high and mighty level, and I'm going to come down and feed you because, you're lower than me. No, he just humbly did it. And I didn't even realize that he was doing it. That's why I felt like that there was a mystery. There was still something else that he wanted to share, but he was withholding that because he had steak, but he was offering me applesauce because that's all I can handle. And you know what would have happened if he would have tried to shove steak down my throat? It would have choked me because I wasn't ready for it. And I would have turned my back on Christ and went a different direction. And I am confident to say that I would not be sitting here right now if it hadn't have been how he handled that situation. The first person to not preach down, the first person to get down. He's not on social media, but he's an influencer. The kind of influencers this world needs. People like that. The character of Jesus in the flesh in front of us. Whew. It's powerful, man. It's the most powerful sermon that anybody will ever hear or see. Love you guys.
That's Pastor Brian Trent. You can find him across the socials under the handle Trent Tribe. He and his family always posting amazing content. So glad to bring it to you here at 9:30 every weekday morning. Thanks so much for hanging out right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now we're going to get down with finding favor.
Looks like the end of the line. Too late, you run out of time. Your tank is empty and you're far from home.
I want to talk about some fishing real quick. The Right Reverend Larry Walls reached out to me, sent me a picture of his grandson Liam catching a 9.5-pound bass on Saturday. Said, yep, he went to the same place Sunday afternoon. He caught an 8.5-pounder. He was an excited 13-year-old. Yes, I imagine he was. He found himself a good fishing hole. But Larry reached out this morning, and he's been one busy guy, right? So he getting ready to have Decoration Sunday at Corbinville this Sunday. He said, I'm going to slow down one of these days. But Graduation Sunday was great. The graduate was blown away there at their church. And he asked if maybe I could play This I Believe by Shane and Shane. Yep, I'll be happy to do that. Oh, and by the way, he says radio sounds good all the way to Lacey Spring. Have a great day, buddy. Yes, thank you, Larry. Thanks for updating me, too, on that signal. You know, we've been having some transmitter problems lately, and I'm so glad we're back up. We're on the air. It's nice and clear. And yes, here's that song for you, This I Believe by Shane and Shane. Thanks again, Larry, for reaching out. And hey, I'd love to hear from you as well. Why don't you text me, 256-967-0885.
Our Father everlasting, the all-creating one, God Almighty.
Well, the time has come for me to bid you adieu, but before I do, I'd like to share with you an inspiring quote. In fact, some might say it's the most inspiring quote of the day. Today it comes from Daniel Webster, who said, "How little do they see what really is, who frame their hasty judgment upon that which seems." You know what? It's really easy to make an assumption, isn't it, based on what you see, but you remember that old saying, never judge a book by its cover? Well, it's so true because you never quite know what's going on behind the scenes, right? You might see one thing, but it's honestly not what you thought it was. That's happened to me so many times, and then I'll speak up and say something because I assumed, and guess what happens? Open mouth, insert foot. It's like, I shouldn't have said anything. I should have waited. I should have figured that one out. I should have dug a little deeper. Yeah, we all learn that way. Learn the hard way. But you know what? We don't have to do that. We can kind of lay back a little bit. Watch the situation. Do a little digging. We can find out what's going on behind the scenes, right? Yeah, so think about that today. Let's make sure we're not jumping to hasty judgments on what seems to be the case. All right? All right, hey, I'll do it with you. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show. It's been a blast hanging out with you today. And I do hope you'll come back and be with me tomorrow. But I want to let you know if you want to catch up on anything, maybe you missed some of the show, or you want to hear something again, or maybe you want to share something with somebody from the show, well, you can go over to Spotify at 10:15 this morning and type in Lifeline Morning Show Podcast and find today's show right there at the top of that list. All right? Sound good? All right. Well, I will see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show. But tell you what, in the meantime, I think maybe we should close out the show with a little something for Wheezy. She reached out to me, and I always love hearing from her. So I thought, hey, let's play one of her favorite songs. And you know what that is, right? Yeah, it's Kaleidoscope Jesus right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better.